Hey everyone, let me light up a little bit there. I just finished watching the first 5 episodes of Masters of the Universe Revelation. It was really, really bad. Like, holy crap, I cannot believe just how bad this was. This tried really, really hard to be as bad as it could be. And it's so strange, the animation is really good. I really feel sorry for the animators. Like, they obviously put a lot of work into this, but it's just. Like, geez, character assassination? That's a term I've heard before, but I never really experienced it until I saw this thing. Wow, this was bad. And, like, leading up to it, the stuff I read, like, from Kevin Smith and some of the other people behind it, a lot of it was lies. Like, man, this show is not going to age particularly well. Ugh. You know, if you go on Twitter and you type in She-Ra, you see a whole bunch of fans of the new She-Ra who would like really want a movie or a comic or a continuation in some way of that show. Revelation, there is going to be a bunch of stuff for it. There's like some comics, there's a toy line. Let's see, there's going to be like 5 more episodes coming later. There's probably going to be another season. I really don't think anybody want it. I know I don't. Ugh, boy. My big problems with it, or well, actually, let me go with some positives first. The animation's really nice. I really like the animation. It's kind of like the 2002 series, but it's a little more up to date than that. Like that series was good, but there's like a lot of like stiff movements here. There's also stiff movements, but it also moves like really fluidly, and the way they can blend like CGI effects with it, it works really well. Uh, um, yeah, the animation is the one thing that's the positive. But, it's like people say, good writing can save a badly animated show, like Beast Wars. However, a badly written show can't be saved by even the best animation. If anything, that makes it worse, because this. Like, for the quality of the writing in this show, like, if the animation matched the quality of everything else, it would look like Thundercats Roar storyboards. The rough sketch storyboards of Thundercats Roar. Oh boy. Like, that's not a good. Like, in the second episode, Tila and her little buddy Andra are joking around, and I got so sick of them. Like, and it's not because Andra's a bad character or she has an annoying voice. It's just that she's in Revelation with Revelation Tila. I don't like this Tila. Like, I don't mind that they wanted to make a show all about Tila. That'd be awesome. I would love to have Tila's character explored. Go back to the original show, or the 2002 show especially. Tila's a really fascinating character. Even in the live action movie, and she was in New Adventures, and that was one of the best episodes of that show. And then we got this. Like, yeah, they finally give Tila her own show, and it's this thing with a bunch of baggage on top of it. Like there were rumors that came out about how Teela's going to be the main character. They kill off He-Man, and a bunch of fans got ticked off because we want He-Man. After all, he's the main character. He's the one everyone knows the best. And then the crew, Kevin Smith was like, "Oh no, don't worry, it's He-Man's show." And there were some people saying, well, you gotta look at it this way. If Teela was the main character, then why doesn't she have a toy? Everybody else has toys, but not her. And Kevin Smith was all like, there, you see? That makes sense. This guy's got a brain. And then it turns out, yeah, He-Man's in the first episode. He's in a couple flashbacks. And that's it. His entire screen time probably amounts to under 5 minutes in these five, like, half-hour long episodes. And that's not even the worst thing. That He-Man is sidelined. Teela has her character just completely ruined. At the end of, I did a video talking about my initial thoughts on the first episode, like right after I watched it, because I was just dumbfounded at some of the stuff that was going on at the end of that episode. But there was promise there in that first episode. Like, yeah, the ending is just like out of nowhere. Teela is so like very self-entitled, selfish, petty about all this. Like, come on, Randor and Marlena, they lost their son. You, you, you've lost your good friend. Adam was your friend. And you're acting like it's all about you. I don't know. Like, the character writing in this was so bad. They really needed somebody who knew how to write characters. Which maybe is why they brought on Kevin Smith, but, that's the other weird thing. There's little comedy bits in here. None of them work. Which is so strange for Kevin Smith, who's primarily a comedy writer. And he's written good dramatic stuff before, like Chasing Amy and Dogma had amazing dramatic moments. This, though, is just garbage. Oh yeah, Jason Mewes voices Stinkor in one episode. It's a really extremely minor role. It's a cute little thing. I don't think his voice was the right pick for Stinkor, but it was fine. It was a cute little thing, whatever. My biggest problem is Orco. Now, initially, oh, and the other thing, the voice acting. Not a big fan of the celebrity voicing. That's a big problem in a lot of cartoons, especially like bigger high-end cartoons, the like big company cartoons. They always want to cast a bunch of celebrities, and like celebrities that are actors, they act, but they don't voice act, which is a big problem with a lot of the characters. Like, they've done voice work before, and they've done fine, but here, There's a few I like. Let's see, Scareglow's voice is amazing. Then again, I don't have anything to compare it to, so I don't know, maybe if he was in one of the old cartoons, he would have had a better voice that I liked better. But as this is his only appearance in animation, I really liked it. His voice was fine. Can't really think of anybody else's voice I particularly liked that much. Mark Hamill does a good Skeletor. He's really given it his all, like always. He's a professional. Like, no matter like how bad the thing he's involved in is, the show must go on, and he does a good performance here. But yeah, nobody else really I liked Cringer initially, but then when he came back and he gave this whole speech to Tila about how you're not angry, you're sad, and he doesn't stutter once, which just felt really wrong because he stuttered in the first episode. So what? He just lost that? Anyway, I'm trying to avoid talking about this thing that really ticked me off. Okay, another voice, Merman. Not a fan of his voice. They did not try. Like the others, I was like, okay, well, they got their celebrity voices in and they're doing an okay job. But then Merman, and I'm like, okay, no, that does not work. Merman, in the old cartoon, in the 2002 cartoon, he had this like weird gurgly, like underwater fish guy voice, and it fit perfectly. Now he just has a voice like a totally normal person. Plus, I don't like that he has like a scar over his eye, and I don't like that Triclops is like the leader of a cult with their own red and black uniforms. It just looks silly. I don't like Trapjaw's voice, the one line he has. Beastman's voice is fine, not that he says a whole lot, it's mostly just grrr. I don't like his new look either. A lot of the villains, they gave them new looks, and they're not good. And it's so weird, because in that first episode, they all appear looking normal. And then you take that away. I don't understand what the thinking is there. You have you have a great animation crew, you have these great designs, and then you make them worse. Okay. The number one bad thing I didn't like, Orco. I didn't mind his voice. It's awkward. It's not as good as his 2002 voice. Like, I'm going to keep talking about the 2002 cartoon because that was what this wanted to be, and it did it far better. What they should have done is just, brought on some of the crew members from that show and been like, okay, we want you guys to, like, put together what would you have done for a fourth season or whatever, third, I don't remember when it ended, back when that show was on. What would you have done in the future? And just do that here. Or at the very least, take some inspiration from whatever they were going to do. I didn't mind Orco at first. He wasn't someone I really liked, but whatever. Anyway, because the magic is sucked out of Eternia, he's dying because he runs on Eternian magic, I guess, or it affected the magic in him because Trollans are like they're naturally connected to magic, except they're not because him and Evelyn go to Trala, his home world, and there's this fountain there, and he says that this is the source of Trallan magic. Is that actually a thing from the old show's lore, or the cartoons, or the comic, or any of that stuff? Was that a thing? Am I forgetting that? Because, I don't know, it just feels like it's too many things that, magic needs a source. Magic can't just be a natural thing in this fantasy world. I don't know. I always, in my mind, the Trollans were just naturally magic. And the reason why Orco's magic is kind of goofy and weak in Eternia is because he's not on his home world. So anyway, him and Evelyn on his home world are talking about Orco, and Orco talks about how, spoilers, his real name isn't really Orco. His real name is Oracle. And it turns out he was never good at magic, even on Trala. He was always, like, bad at magic, and his parents were ashamed of him. And then he dies. I don't freaking care about this Orco. Like, they went out of their way to, like, just erase everything about him, and then they kill him, so, like, what do I care? Like, if that scene in Trala had never happened and they killed Orco off, okay, dick move, but, like, it's kind of sad, I guess, in the context of this particular incarnation of the show, but I don't care about this Orco. He's not the same, and that was one of the annoying things. They keep saying the show's a continuation of the original, and there's all these posters showing the original designs from the 80s, and they go out of their way to just pretend that Orco, everything that he's said in the past, has been a lie. In the original show's canon, in the comics, in the cartoons, and all that stuff, Orco's thing was that on Trala, he was actually pretty powerful. In fact, there was a couple episodes of the original show where they go to Trala, and he's suddenly really powerful. All gone. Oh, and also King Grayskull is black. And, like, I don't mind. Like, I was reading some stuff, and apparently they thought there were too many, like, big muscular white guys, and they needed some variety. Okay, cool. Uh, He-Man has a deep lore. You can definitely find, like, characters of other ethnicities. So, I was kind of looking forward to see, like, who else could they dig up? A bunch of muscular white guys. They go to this, like, Heaven Realm or something, where there's a bunch of, like, past heroes. Oh, and they act like we're supposed to know who Hero is. Like, yeah, I know who Hero is, because I'm a big freaking Masters of the Universe fan. I know all the deep lore characters. But, to the audience, this thing is apparently, like, made for... They're not going to freaking know who Hero is. They're going to look at him and be like, who's that guy? Am I supposed to know who that guy is? Then again, I'm guessing the people this is made for probably don't think about what they're watching anyway. They just... Stuff happens, and that's good enough. Anyway, so Vicor is there, white guy. Hero is there, white guy. Wundar is there, white guy. There's this one woman there who I don't recognize. She looks like Sorceress, but she speaks in gibberish. I'm sure she's based on some actual character from the lore, but I don't remember off the top of my head who exactly she is. Maybe she's from the DC Comics or something. I haven't read all those. Anyway, why is King Grayskull and Andra, who's like based off of extremely minor character from the old like Star comics of all things, why are they the only race-swapped characters? Like, why couldn't Vicor be a black guy? Why couldn't Wundar be, I don't know, Chinese or something? Like, something, come on. It's He-Man, you have a diverse cast to choose from. So anyway, Roboto. Spoilers, Roboto dies also. And it was funny because while I was watching the episode, I was like writing a little play-by-play on Derpy Boru while I was watching it, and Roboto, like I don't know why, but I just got the sense they're gonna kill off Roboto, aren't they? I was right. They killed Roboto, and it was a good death scene actually. Like he goes into how he's trying to be human, and he's like, if I was a robot, I couldn't truly fear death, but I do, meaning, like I've developed feelings, and I'm closer to human than ever, and it's a really sweet little thing. And then he's dead, and it would be cool if it wasn't in freaking Revelation. Same with a scene where Adam goes off in the woods and meets with Moss Man, who it turns out did die. All right. And it's a totally pointless scene. It could have easily been cut, but Alan Oppenheimer is doing Mossman's voice, and it's cute and charming, and that's cool. I just wish that it was in a better show than Revelation. And then, so anyway, Adam gets to come back to life, just like Goku. And then he gets killed again, just like Goku. Except he's stabbed violently and pukes up blood. All ages. Oh, and also, damn hell. Quite a bit. More than I would have expected in Masters of the Universe. They're allowed to say damn and hell a lot. I always hate it when, like, they finally lift the, like, the restraints off it, of a thing when they make a new show. Then they waste it on garbage like this. Like that new live-action Winx show. Like, for years, Winx, they've been trying to, like, make it appeal to babies. And then finally it's like, oh, here's a show for the adult fans. No, what they mean is it's a immature show for immature adults. So yeah, I didn't like Revelation. It wasn't very good. I wouldn't recommend watching it. If you want to see, like, kind of an anime-inspired take on He-Man, 2002 series is right there. Go to Watch Cartoon Online or something. Download yourself some episodes of that show. Or, actually, New Adventures had kind of an anime feel. Had some voice acting issues and some pacing issues and episodes that were kind of boring and nonsense, but hey, it was a... I take that over Revelation. Hell, I take the original series over Revelation. The writing in the original series was actually really good. So anyway, is my final thoughts on Revelation. That's what I think of it. If you could write, that's what it would be. That's all. See ya.